Hello, good afternoon. This is David Soto talking to you, and today is my weekly trade prediction for the upcoming trading week of July 15th through July 19th, 2019. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the major currency pairs here, and I'm going to look at the previous week and see what went on last week and kind of give an idea of what's going to happen this coming week. Okay, so to begin with, I put everything on a 15-minute chart, all the major pairs. And I want to look at Euro USD, Pound USD, Australian dollar, and New Zealand dollar USD, right? US dollar. So these pairs, if they all go together, if they all go in the same direction, then the US dollar should be going in the opposite direction. Okay, that's pretty much how this works. So if you look at Euro USD, it has actually gained. It has gone up this past week. Same thing with Pound USD, Australian dollar USD, and New Zealand dollar. Okay, all these have gone up slightly. Okay, so with that said, this is on a 15-minute chart. So New Zealand dollar definitely gained. So that means the US dollar has come down as a result. And if we come here to USDCHF, we see right here that from the 8th of July, it has definitely been going down. Now it hit this point here, came back up, and went back down to the same point. Okay, and US dollar Japanese yen, almost identical movement. Okay, it came down, back up, came down again. So the US dollar is trying to fight back, but it's just not successful. Now if we look at US dollar Canadian dollar, it's a little bit interesting. We definitely see kind of a similar movement where it hasn't gone down and hit this point and came up and came down again, and this has been a little bit weaker, but also the Canadian dollar has weakened as a result. So what's going to happen this coming week is going to be a little interesting as compared to other USD pairs. Okay, but first of all, I want to look at Euro USD to start with. And I want to look at the higher time frames to kind of get an idea of what I think is going to happen this coming week. So if we look at the daily, okay, on a daily chart, we have an up arrow here, okay? And the weekly, we have up arrow, and the monthly, we have an up arrow, okay? And if I come down to a 4-hour, we have an up arrow. So technically, this should be going up, all right? And the 1 hour has a down arrow, so, and it's hitting this kind of like level of resistance right here. So it looks like it's getting ready to come down right now, but it should hit a level of support, which would probably be right around here. Okay, this was a resistance that was broken and has now become a support. You see it bounced off right here and kind of bounced off right here. I could bring this up a little bit, like right here, and say that this is a new support, and it'll probably come down here and bounce off and go higher. Okay, according to this 4-hour chart here, we have this support here and it's already bounced off of, and there's no red arrows in here, but they're all on a 1-hour chart, as you can tell. So this will probably most likely come down, hit this again, and then go up even further. Okay, I predict it to go as high as this right here and also as high as this. So it'll probably hit this level. Let me draw a line right here on the 4-hour chart. It'll hit this level, bounce off of it, okay, and then eventually break it again. So that's kind of how that works. We have a level of resistance right here right now, okay? Once that gets broken, that will become a level of support right in here. So we wait for this to break, and then it'll go up to this line, bounce off, come back down, touch this support, bounce off, and eventually break this resistance, and then it'll become a support. Okay. Now, this will probably happen. You'll probably see it touch this around Tuesday or Wednesday, and then come back down Thursday, and then Friday probably break out again. Okay, so that's my prediction for Euro USD this week. It's definitely going up. but it's going to be a slow process. Okay, and then see pound USD is kind of in the same exact situation. Okay, if we look on the day, a 4-hour, daily, and weekly, we see an up arrow. Okay, even on the monthly, we see an up arrow. So all indicators are showing that it's going to go up. All right. So the thing is it going to retrace and come back down at all? If you look on the 1 hour, we see a down arrow right here. Okay. So it looks like it's getting ready to come down right now as we speak, and it'll probably it's going to bounce off a level of resistance, or former level of resistance that's now a support, right? And I probably could mark right in here. Okay, I can mark that as the level of resistance. This is a former level of resistance, and is now a level of support. You see it bouncing off of right here. So we can kind of expect or predict that this is going to touch this horizontal line here, or this level of support, and bounce off and go even higher. Okay, so that's kind of my prediction for the week. How high will it go? Well, probably as high as this level here. Okay, where this former level of resistance was. And if we look, this is on a 1 hour. Now if we go to a 4 hour, we see even a higher level of resistance. Okay, so if I mark that one as well, so you have some different levels here that it could go to. Okay, and it's going to go up and down, but overall it's definitely going to be climbing. Okay, and if we look at AUDUSD and New Zealand dollar, these two are almost identical in price movement. Okay, so if we look at the higher time frames, okay, I want to look at the higher time frames. Look at the daily, weekly, and monthly. They all show that they're going to be going up, right? And same with the 4 hour. Well, not the 4 hour. 4 hour shows it's going to go down. So this might be a little bit tricky, but we know that the long term is going to be going up, and it looks like it's hitting a level of resistance. If I mark this right here, okay, there's no red arrow, right? But we know that's a level of resistance, and this is approaching that. So if I go to the 4 hour, we see that here are those marks, okay, that it hit, and it's probably most likely going to hit this and come back down again. But long term, we can expect this to be going up, because the weekly is definitely showing up. Okay, it's at a level of resistance right here, but we can expect that to be broken this coming week. Even on the daily, look at that. The daily shows that it's going to be coming up. It probably will bounce off of that and come back up and eventually break. So sometime, probably around the middle of the week, I would expect this level of resistance to be broken. Okay, so the first couple of days of the week, I would expect this to drop some and then shoot back up again. And we kind of, how far will it come down? We look at another level of support and resistance and kind of judge. Right here is a good level of support and resistance. Okay, this is a level of support before, and then it broke, became a resistance, and broke again, and now it's a support. So I would probably guess that it's going to hit this level, bounce off, and then break. Okay, so we're looking probably the first Monday and Tuesday for this to drop, and then by Wednesday it's going to come back up, and either Thursday or Friday it'll break. Okay, and the same thing is going to happen for New Zealand dollar, US dollar. If we look at the daily and weekly charts, they all show it wants to go up, right? But we're hitting a level of resistance. Okay, it has come up and is approaching this level of resistance, and you can mark it here on the 4 hour chart where you see the red arrow. Okay, So we can predict that this is going to drop again and then eventually break out. So it's going to be the same exact scenario. Okay, so at the beginning of the week, this should drop, and then around the middle of the week, towards the end of the week, it's going to come back up and break this resistance and shoot up even higher. Okay, that is my prediction for the week for those pairs. Okay, now moving on to US dollar pairs, USD pairs. We see that the US dollar Swiss franc has been dropping, right, this past week. So that is kind of to be expected, since the US dollar has been weakening. It did rebound and come back up some, but then dropped off again. Now the question is, will it continue to drop, or is it going to go up right now? Okay, if we look at the higher time frames, like we always do here, we see on the 4-hour that it wants to go down more. Okay, it only shows that red arrow, and the daily shows an up arrow. Okay, and the weekly shows a down arrow, and the monthly shows a down arrow. Okay, so this is kind of a little wishy-washy, but overall we can expect this US dollar Swiss franc to be dropping. Okay, and how we can kind of figure this out is, if you look at the daily chart, there's something right here that we need to look at that this indicator cannot show you, and this is a downtrend. Even though we have an up arrow here, if we draw a trend line from this point coming down to here, all right, now these points here did not touch, but they came somewhat close. But we definitely have this point here that it hit this level of resistance and came down. We even have a doji candle right in the middle. If I zoom in a bit, we see we have a doji candle here. So what this means to me is that we are definitely in a downtrend. Okay, if I go to a weekly, all we have is a red arrow. Okay, no up arrow, and we're definitely on this level of resistance right here on this trend line, and it's already come down. So it looks like it's definitely going to be riding this trend line all the way down. Now what might happen is it might hit a level of support and bounce back up and hit this trend line again. Because if we see here on the daily chart, we have an up arrow. We never had a down arrow, which, you know, it's kind of hard to say exactly if it will go up or down. But we have this level of support here, which is way down here, and we have multiple levels of support and resistance. We have this right here. This is a resistance, which kind of right now is a level of support. I mean, it is a level of support, but we see right now where the price is right now, that's kind of a level of support also. So it looks like this might bounce back up and then break, hit this, bounce up again, and then come back down. And then eventually it's going to do one of two things. It's going to hit this level and bounce back up, or it's going to hit another level, such as maybe right in here. I don't know. That's a level of support right here. It could hit this level and bounce up and then come back up to this trend line. If we zoom out a bit, we definitely think this is going to be going down this week, but it's eventually going to come back up and hit this trend line again. I can pretty much guarantee that. Okay, so in the beginning of the week, this is important. In the beginning of the week, this is going to be dropping. So, you know, you catch a few hundred pips on this one. If you look here, go down here, you could even catch 1,000 pips on the drop. All right, easily. And then on the way back up, towards the end of the week, like Thursday or Friday, we should be seeing this come back up to this trend line, and you can catch another 1,000 pips on the way back up. So that's pretty awesome, I think. Okay, so definitely want to catch some pips on the way down and then on the way back up with US dollar Swiss franc. Moving on to US dollar Japanese yen, we see that it has pretty much done the same effect. It dropped, came back up, dropped again. And will it go up? We don't know for sure, but the long term looks like it's going to be going up. Okay, and this typically has an inverse action or correlation to the US dollar Swiss franc, but not always, especially if the US dollar is really weak. The Japanese yen has been very weak as well. But if we see here on the 4 hour, it wants to drop. Okay, so it's probably going to drop maybe back down to this same level right here, or right now it's kind of at a level of support right now. It could drop all the way to this level, which I'm sure it will, and then break. It'll probably, you know, go bounce off of this, come back up to this level of resistance right here, is what I'm guessing, and then, or come close to that, and then break down again. All right, and then eventually it's going to hit this level of support down here and go up even more. And if you see here on the daily, even the weekly, it wants to go up, right? And like I said, generally has an opposite effect from the US dollar Swiss franc, but not always. So this week we can predict it to go down in the beginning of the week, and then towards the end of the week we can expect it to be headed back up again. Okay, so you can definitely catch some pips on the way down and on the way back up, pretty much like the US dollar Swiss franc we already saw. Okay, now US dollar Canadian dollar, this one's slightly different because both pairs have weakened. Okay, so now if we look at the higher time frames, I'm going to look at the 4 hour wants to go up, the daily wants to go up, the weekly wants to go down, and the monthly wants to go down. So the overall big trend for US dollar Canadian dollar is down. It should be going down, but in the short term it's probably going to be going back up again, because the US dollar is stronger than the Canadian dollar, even though both have weakened. So what we can expect, okay, if we look at the daily, it wants to go up. All right, now if we draw a downtrend, we draw a trend line here, we see 2 points connected but no third point yet. So what we can predict is that in the beginning of this week, this is on the daily, so at the beginning of this week this is going to be going up, and around Wednesday, maybe Thursday, this will touch this trend line. Okay, give it a few days, and then after that I would expect it to be dropping again. I do not think this will break the trend line, although it could. So nobody, not even myself, can predict the future of the forex market, so you have to kind of you know, look at your trend lines and kind of predict what we think might happen, and just go with the flow. Okay, so if you see here, this is wanting to go up, right? And the 4 hours wanting to go up. So in the beginning of the week, we can definitely predict that this is definitely going to be going up. Okay, 100% guaranteed. Now the thing is, how far will it go up? We don't know, but you could easily catch, look at this, you know, 1,200 pips. So I would definitely be counting on 1,000 pips. If you draw a resistance right here, okay, this is a level of resistance, and there is how many pips? Over 1,000 pips between the current price and this point. And where this level of resistance crosses this trend line is kind of what I like to call X marks the spot. Okay, so I can I can almost guarantee you that this is the point where this will drop again, okay, and come back down even further. Because if we look at the weekly, it has a down arrow, right? So this is very small movement. It looks very small on the weekly because it's just a broad time frame, but it's kind of like zooming out on the market, and you can see the bigger picture of what the market is doing. So we can expect this to come back up, just like it did here. It came down, back up, down, broke this support, came down, came back up. Now it's a resistance. Okay, was a support because it hit here, came back up, then broke. Now it's a resistance. So we can predict that it's going to hit that resistance again, and then shoot down even further. Okay, we have this level of support right here, and we have multiple levels of support if we draw some of these. Okay, so these are all different levels of support, kind of like a ladder, as I showed in my previous video, where we can say, okay, this week it's going to drop to here, and then next week it'll drop to here, and then the following week drop to here. Okay, and that's no guarantee, but that is the movement that this is showing right now. Okay, in the long term, this is definitely going to be going down. It might take a few months for this to reach all the way down to here, but in the long term, this is definitely going down. So anyhow, sorry for the rambling, but this is my weekly trade predictions. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments, or if you think my predictions are totally wrong. Please feel free to share your predictions with me, and we can compare. I would like to see what you think is going to happen in the market this week. And also, if you can, please share your predictions or your analysis in my Facebook group, where everybody can join in and collaborate and have an open discussion. Okay, so if you have not joined my Facebook group, there is a link below in the description of this video for my private Facebook group. You can contact me there if you want. There's also a link for my personal Facebook page, and then you can contact me there, send me a private message, and I'll be more than happy to reach out to you. Okay, so with that said, I hope you have a prosperous week, and just let me know if any questions about how to trade. Okay, thank you so much.